Hey guys, it's Mrs. Cole here, and I'm going to go over yesterday's math problem on equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions, so here's the fraction strip page. So equivalent fractions are fractions that are the same. That's why equivalent equal. So for example, let's look at 1/2. So I'll put this yellow paper. So here's 1/2 right here. The fractions that are equivalent equal to 1/2 are 2/4 and 3/6 and 4/8, 5/10, 6/12. Those are all equivalent fractions, okay? So our first question was with these fractions right here, and which fraction out of these ones are closest to 1? Okay, so I have my 1 whole fraction strip. The first one was 3/6. So I've got my 6 fraction strip. So 3/6 is going to be right here. All right. 2/5 is right here. All right. So we can already compare those two. 4/6 is right here. And don't be afraid to mark up your fraction strips. I posted a link where you can get these fraction strips a while back, but I'll post it again. In 5/10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tenths. Okay, so there we have it. So if you look at these fractions and compare them to the 1 whole, which one is closest to 1? I think that you can figure that out now. Can you zoom in so they can see it? I think you can figure that out by looking this way. So we can see that the 4/6 is closest to 1. Okay, so I will write 4/6 here for my answer. Now, which fraction is closest to 0? So take a look at those, and you can see the fraction that is closest to 0 is 2/5. Okay, because it's the smallest fraction. Okay, are there any fractions that are equivalent to half? So I'm going to get my half fraction strip, and when they say 1/2, we mean just 1/2. So are there any fractions that are equivalent to 1/2? Can you figure it out by just looking at the fraction strips? We have, it looks like, 2 fractions that are equivalent to half. So we have 3/6, and we also have 5/10. Now, do you notice anything about 1/2, 3/6, and 5/10 that are similar? And if you said that it's half, like for example, 3 is half of 6, 5 is half of 10, 1 is half of 2. That's why they're halves. Okay, so moving on to the next part, and that was the part where is it less than half or greater than half, these fractions, okay? So we had, I'm just trying to figure out which one was first again. Let's start with 2/5. So, and I'm going to get my half strip again, because that's necessary for this one. So,
stand at the side.
oh, okay. All right. So less than half or greater than half. So 2/5. There we go. 2/5. Is it less or greater? You tell me. It's less. Okay, less than half. Then we have 6/10. I need to leave that half strip again. Okay. All right. So this is 6/10, okay? So 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. 6/10, and line them up perfectly. Is 6/10 greater or less than half? You can see it's greater, okay? And then we have 1/3. So just one of the thirds. And we talked about in a previous video how the bigger the number on the bottom, and remember denominator is a word for down, the bigger the number on the bottom, the smaller the piece gets. Okay, so you can see that 1/3 is less. Two quarters, there we go, there's 2/4 right there. And is it less than half or greater than half? It's equivalent, it's equal. Okay, now 5/5, I have to put my 5th action strip again, there it is. So 5/5. So anything that is 5 out of 5, 7 out of 7, 20 out of 20, that would equal 1 whole. Okay, so this is greater than half. Okay, that's 5/5. All right. 4/6. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 4/6. It is greater. Okay. Now there is an interesting one, and it was 7ths. And we don't have a fraction strip for 7ths, so I'll show you how I figured this out. So I know that 6s are this big and 8s are a little bit smaller. So 7ths would be somewhere in between those. So if I had to make a fraction strip for them and I had to put 7ths, I would make my 7ths right in between those. And it's not going to be perfect, but the 7ths are going to be a bit smaller than 6. So 1, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see. 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7. So it's not exact. The other thing that you can do is, remember I said you can use your ruler and you can measure the length of this paper and then divide it by 7. Okay, so 6/7 is about this much right here. So we know that it is definitely greater than half. Okay, the other thing is I told you about the Matthews virtual fraction strips website, so you can come down and zoom right in on here. And some of you weren't, you can sit right down. Some of you weren't quite sure how to use it. So the way that you use this is, it's quite simple really. So just, you can zoom in right on the fraction strips. This is the slider bar. So you can see if you're trying to find the equivalents for half, you go right to half. So you can see that 2/4 are half, 3/6 are halves. That is, I think, 10ths. So no, it's 8ths. 4/8 is half and 5/10 is half. Or if you want to see, for example, the question, you know, what is bigger? 2/3. So I'll take it to the 2/3, or 4/5. So there's my 5ths, and we can see which one is bigger. So that slider tool just kind of shows you about the equivalent fractions. For example, if I wanted to see what are fractions that are equivalent to 2/3, I would take it to my 2/3, and the ones in the black rectangles are the ones that are equivalent to 2/3. So that's how you use this fraction strip. Okay, thank you.